Question, Will? Or?
Oh yeah.
Rocks is big in it.
One animal system is the bee for like the smaller versus the bigger fighter. What is another animal system that can be used?
Well, some animals rely more so on power. Others rely more so on speed or flexibility or movement. The snake doesn't require vast amounts of power. The grasshopper, the crane, those are all animals that don't rely so completely on their power. They rely more on speed, movement, flexibility.
Yeah. See, the dragon is powerful. He hit you with the tail, he threw you down. And that's what the tail of the dragon in your feet.
But a lot of that doesn't necessarily rely so much on power as it does positioning and outthinking.
The mind, yeah.
So power's not just power, it's
It's
constructed out of the other things that...
a dragon, he got so much power, he just walk, he can mess you up walking.
No question. And I started to answer. I'm sorry. Your name?
My name is B.
B. B. Perfect. You already know what your totem is. You already know what your favorite animal is. She asked a question earlier about how does she know what animal to choose for her that's going to best suit her. And some animals, like a bear, a bear is typically larger than almost anything it fights. A lot of the movements of the bear rely on mass, power. It's going to destroy whatever it hits the first shot. That's probably not something that's real well suited to somebody of my body style, and to be a primary system, where I'm faster. I'm big and strapping and heavy. I'm slender. So movements of the snake, where I can entwine and wrap, trap and control, tends to be more suited to my physicality. Movements like the cat type movements, the panther and leopard movements like that are more suited for me. I'm faster and lighter on my feet. Grasshopper is a technique that doesn't require huge amounts of physical power or mass to execute properly. Tiger, bear tend to rely a little bit more so on physical power, mass, and weight to overcome their opponents.
When you're using animals, is it, I was thinking about tiger, bear, and panther. Is there a way to use those three together?
Absolutely. You can blend any of these, and when I say that as kind of a generality for the group. It's not to say I don't utilize bear technique. Bear technique as a whole is probably much better suited to somebody Mark size or max build. It relies more so on mass and power, but not all of the techniques. And there are times that if I've set myself up properly, where I can execute, a bear technique after I've opened it and controlled him with something like an eagle. I've maneuvered myself out of the way and got out of the path with the dragon or the eagle, and I can finish with the bear strike. But it's to say that you can blend any of the animals, and ideally, that's probably the best solution, is to learn a balance and learn a little bit from each and use what works. Depending on the situation. One of the other things that I started to elaborate on is again, some of these different animal techniques and tendencies are going to vary based upon your opponent. If there are things that bear technique is not something I would tend to favor if I was going against somebody who's much larger and heavier than me. I'm playing his game then. So that was the analogy. That's why I brought up B when Bill stepped up to the plate there. Bill's obviously much larger than Sitiga. So an animal like the bee doesn't base its responses and attacks and defenses on size and weight. It's something that it's used to everything that attacks it being larger. Snakes. Snake techniques are almost anything that attacks a snake is physically larger than a snake. So it relies on striking quickly, unexpectedly, and then wrapping, twining.
So what time do you find out which suits you?
It becomes clear over several years. 2 or 3
The more
years
you
out,
practice,
it becomes
the more you'll see that certain movements.
Because I gotta be honest, my reach and all that goes in my way.
sometimes I get tied up.
Well, and the key there is learning to use that. Eagle
Like-
techniques,
yeah,
or
like what you were
extended
saying earlier,
long,
knowing
snake
yourself.
techniques, dragon techniques, are things that would
Yeah, 'cause
better
really
suit
when-
your
right.
physiology. You know, if I'm dealing with somebody that's closer to my same size and weight, then I can do bear technique. Then I can use a lot more tiger technique. If I'm dealing with somebody who's much larger than me, that's not the type of technique I'm going to favor.
It's understanding your energy as well. We just heard you tell a story about City Gun taking down a big old guy with Iron Hand. He did it with the bear as well. So when you understand your own energy, you understand the power you have, you can do it to anybody, any size, at any time. You can change from the bee to the bear. And you were saying you can mesh animals. Oh, you can do any of the animals while you're moving. It becomes you and your mind and how you want to transform.
It's where you're more comfortable. It's like a shoe. I say it every time. Put your shoes on. Fit you. You're not comfortable. What you put it on for? See what I'm talking about? You need to know which work for you. That's the reason there's so many animals.
Take the time
See,
to learn them all.
every time you do something over here, can you do a cutter for me, please?